Welcome everyone to our special webinar on CFA Level 3, organized in partnership with Top Finance. My name is Alexandre and I'm working at CFA Society France. Tonight, we will hear from Sébastien Proust, Chair of the Candidates and Universities Committee, Emmanuel Serouchny from Top Finance, and two recent charter holders, Juan and Kemen. They will share their unique insights and valuable experiences on the CFA journey. But please note that your microphones will remain muted during the presentation, but you will have the chance to ask questions via the Q&A down below during the presentation. So enjoy the session.
Thank you so much, Alexandre, for this introduction. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sébastien. Together, I'm with Emmanuel, Juan, and Kemen will join us later. You have the opportunity to ask questions in the Q&A box, as Alexandre said. So quick profile of our speaker today. Kemen is a portfolio manager at Stanhope Capital, which is a firm specialized in high net worth individual. Juan is a senior analyst, M&A transaction services at Mazars. Emmanuel is head of development at Moonshot Top Finance, which is a CFA prep provider. And myself, I'm head of institutional development at Forward Finance, and I'm also head of the candidate committee for CFA Society France. So today, in terms of agenda, Emmanuel, we will start with reminding us what is the exam format this year in 2025. You probably know that there are some important changes. So Emmanuel will remind us that. We'll go after in the second part of the presentation in tips and strategy. So I myself have passed the level 3 exam in 2021, and collectively we have some experience on that specific level. So we'll try to share what are the tips and tricks to nail this level 3. And finally, so Juan and Kemen will share with you their very recent experience, because Juan took the level 3 last year and Kemen in 2023. So without waiting too much, Emmanuel, the floor is yours for you to drive us through the new exam format in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Sébastien, for this introduction. Thank you, Alexandre. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here today to present you indeed the new CFA Level 3 exam format. So just briefly before going through those details, just to let you know, and I know that you all know that CFA 3 is clearly the hardest one. Partly because the structuration of the questions has evolved, as Sébastien said, with the integration of the essays parts. Plus, you are, for some of you I know here, the first promotion to test the 3 new pathways. So we will go through those details later. First, let's focus on the exam. So you probably already know that the exam is split in 2 sessions of 2 hours and 12 minutes each, with a break of 30 minutes between the 2 sessions. In each session, you will have 5 or 6 item sets and essays mixed. This is the important point to know. And I don't know, but maybe Juan, you can share just some tips here about the mixed effect of the items and the questions.
Yeah. So I took my CFA level 3 last year, and actually it was kind of a mixture. So it was first you would get some item sets or maybe essay questions, and followed by another essay question or item set. So personally, this is the only format that I have taken, but personally I think it was quite interesting and quite good for me in order to better manage my time. And later on I will and Kemen, we will be speaking about how to approach this type of mix format in terms of time management.
Thank you, Juan. And obviously, you also know that you need to obtain 70% to pass your exam. Each essay set or item are for 12 points each. Thank you, Sebastian. We can go on slide 6, please. So yes, here you have the content of the exam that I think you already know. So 65 to 75% will be core concepts. So here you have to apply judgment, very synthesize information and give solution, explain your calculation. We will also go through these details later. And then you have the other 25 to 35% that will be the questions related to the pathway you have choose between private wealth. The second pathway is private market, focus on the GP on the GP perspective of the private market, and then you have the third pathway on next slide, which is the portfolio management. Maybe a quick advice here just for you before the exam, for those who are going to pass their exam in February. Try to verify before going to the exam that you are on the right session, on the right pathway. This is really the pathway that you have followed during your revision. Thank you. So yes, we have said that this level 3 is quite hard to have. You can see on this slide that 49% is the rate of the last exam. This is the passing rate, so it's still hard to have. Why? Maybe we can talk about two main reasons. The first one, sorry, is obviously the work time, the underestimation of the work time. So you have to really focus on this before engage yourself in this new session of level 3. And the other reason is probably that you cannot be comfortable with the constructed answer, which is a format that is quite new, that you haven't faced in the CFA 2 or 1. So you really have to focus on this part, which is quite new and difficult. And Juan will go through details to help you on this part just later. And you also have to keep to manage your time. This is also a good point on the exam, I mean.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for this reminder. So indeed, quite a big change. First on the mixing on essay and question. Back in my days, on the morning you have the essay part, and on the afternoon you have the item set. And everyone knew at that time that you could be short in terms of timing on the morning session, because the essay part tend to be a bit more time consuming than the item set part. And so now the fact that it's mixed in terms of time management, it changes everything. So Juan will walk us through that. And in terms of passing rate, at the level 3, as you know, you are part of the motivated one. I would say not the lazy one, but the less motivated one. They gave up before that. So now you have only the most competitive one who compete or to gain this. The CFA level 3 certification, and among these, only 50% of them got it. So, it's not that easy. Let's talk about tips and strategy. So, basic stuff, but for time management, first, I think it's quite important for you to quickly scan the question before reading the entire introduction of the question. Read the question or scan them. At least you know what information you are looking for. Answer only what is needed. If the question says give us 2 reasons why you should choose this bond over other one. Do not give 3, you won't get the point. Time, quick, have a look on the clock, of course, time management again. Look for common word. It's quite important to make sure you understand what's behind the common words. You should be familiar with those. We will show you some example. Justify is not the same thing as explain or give in the CFA literature, so you need to be mindful on that. And yeah, there is no reference to, no cross-reference. Once you have completed a set of questions, you can't make reference to it in another question. So that's for the essay part. Be concise, no sentences. I would say that it's better to be too short than too long. Of course, you need to make sure you provide the information that is required, but bullet point only, the essential. And if you have enough time at the end, you can come back on it and maybe, enrobe or enhance your answer. But it's better to do it this way than starting to write a novel and being short at the end of the exam because you don't have enough time to complete it. So be concise, show your work. You don't give the figures, the result, only show the step in your calculation. And yeah, do everything, because even if you don't have the complete answer, you will get partial point for providing partial information. So try to answer to all of the questions. So an example of essay, let's say constructive responses, it's better than essay. So you see here the common words: determine, justify. So here you clearly the examiner is expecting that first you tell him which bond to choose, and secondly you justify the answer. So if you give only the right bond and without justifying, obviously you won't get 100% point of the points. Same thing in the second example here. What is the most appropriate index, 1, 2, or 3, and then explain why. Again, you give the right index and then you explain your answer. It's very straightforward, but it's also easy sometimes to just, being carried away and just providing the right answer because you are too excited, because you know it, and you forget to provide the justification. Even if it's obvious for you, you need to provide it. Otherwise, you won't get the full points. Other set of example, quite similar. So one weakness in risk management process for each of the following. So you will need to give obviously two weaknesses for both companies. Okay, one weakness for company A and one weakness for company B. So you are familiar with this type of question. Just be careful on the common words and be mindful about what is expecting from you and meet this expectation. Item set, you are already familiar with that. It's very similar to the level 2. So again, read the question before reading the entire set of introduction, check your time, and answer to everything. You should be mindful about your probability here. Even if you don't know the answer, there is no bad points. So try to answer everything. You still have a good chance, to get it right. So that's all for the tips and tricks for the exam on my side. I think the best for you guys is to listen to Cam and Juan, who took the exam. So in 2023 for Cam, and in last year for Juan. Guys, I have some question for you. Maybe I'm going to start with Juan. We talked a bit before about time management between essay and item set. Tell us, how did you do it? You're on mute, Juan.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think what worked best for me in order to have a good time management on exam day was first of all, I knew that I had around 12 minutes per section. So each section might have more difficult or less difficult questions depending on the type of question. But whenever there was an essay question that I didn't know how to answer, I skipped it right away. So I just screened the questions, asked to myself, can I answer it or not? If the answer was not, then I skipped it. Then for those that were item sets that I didn't know how to answer, I would make my best guess and then flag them so I can come back later. For the ones that I did know how to answer, I will try to answer as fast as possible, and always bearing in mind that I have 12 minutes per section, like per break of 6 questions. So I think what is key is to know how to handle the questions that you don't know, or for the ones that you don't know the answer. So once you have skipped all the essay questions and once you have flagged all the item set questions that you don't know or that you're not sure about, what I did was, first of all, come back to the questions that were flagged, because when there is like an ABCD format question, you know that even by guessing, you have a high probability or a better probability of making some points rather than an essay question. So I spent the remaining time, first of all, reviewing the item set questions that I didn't know how to answer, made my best guess. And then at the end, in the remaining time, after I answer everything, I will try to conceptualize an answer on constructed response type of questions. I think one of the key takeaways from this exercise was that you have to always bear in mind that you are also like playing with probabilities. So the probability of making some points in ABCD questions is higher than on making some points on constructed response, because basically there's no guesswork when you have to write an answer. Either you know or you don't. So yeah.
Interesting insight. Okay, so you flag, you skip, and you don't lose too much time on question you don't know, and you come back later. Did you have a lot of time to come back? You know, what do you do you remember how much time did you have to come back on these questions you flagged?
I think exactly, I don't know how much time it remained for me, but I'm pretty sure I had just enough time. So I didn't feel the rush to answer questions that I did not know. I remember that in the last parts of the essay type of questions, meaning the ones that I left for the very last part, I was kind of running out of time, but I mean, it was like, I mean, the time was quite enough. Also, I mean, you have to practice, or what I did was practicing a lot on the mock exams with real exam day environment. So working on the clock and keeping an eye on the time that I had. So I think it was just enough.
And obviously it worked, so it was enough. What about you, Cam? Time management, how did you manage the time constraint on your side?
On my side, it was very quite similar to what Ran did, but specifically, I was trying to focus on item set question, because it's the same thing as in the level 2. So I know how to answer them. I know where to find keyword. So I was focusing on answering item set question first, and then come back to essay part. And the rest of the strategy was same as run. I flagged question when I find them difficult, and I skip, and when I'm finished, I come back to the flagged question and try to answer them by focusing first on ITSM question and essay after that.
Okay, that's interesting. So you guys, you had actually two different techniques, if I understand correctly. Juan, you took the question one after the other, while Cam, you focused first on the item set and then came back on the essay part.
Yeah, because I knew that answering ITSM questions was quick. For me, it was quicker than answering essay.
Okay, interesting, and both work, obviously. So congrats, guys. Talking about practicing, I am curious to know, how did you practice for the essay part, the constructive response part? We at CFA Society France do not, I would say yet, provide a mock exam for level 3. I know it has been asked and we are working on that, but so how did you do it? How did you practice that part? Maybe Kem, you want to start this one?
Yeah, I can start. For essay parts, I use Top Finance. I don't know, and they give exam. They give
Mock exam.
mock exam. Thank you. They give
Okay.
mock exam, so I practice with that. In my memory, CFA exam also provide mock exam, if I'm not wrong. And so I practice both of them. And for the essay part specifically, I had a strategy was first give the fact, second the interpretation of the fact, and after that the conclusion, which was generally the answer of the question.
Okay, so for each question you had this structure, fact, then
Interpretation
interpretation and
and
conclusion.
then
Okay,
conclusion, yeah.
interesting. What about you, Juan, for the essay part? How did you
Yes. So
practice?
I think the key for me was a lot of practice and meticulous correction. So I believe that the best way to improve like time management and in order to answer well the essay questions is first of all to have a plan. So you should know how to approach the question that you know how to answer and that you don't know how to answer. So for the ones that you know how to answer, you have to, or at least what I did was study the common words, as you mentioned before, Sebastian, because it's not the same to list than to explain. So you know that some common words might require more time and some other will be just three bullet points and or list three items. First of all, second, it was to recreate as much as possible the exam conditions. So being strict on the clock and for accuracy, I think what worked for me was being very strict when I was performing like the review of my answers, because you have to like be critical and studying like very in depth the answer that you gave. So for me, when like because for example the CFA interface, like the learning environment, propose you some mock exams, and the way it corrects is it gives you guidance, and then depending on the guidance you determine yourself if you answer well or not. So what I did was being very strict with myself, and if the answer was somehow but not very similar to the guidance, I took that answer as wrong, and I like went back to the curriculum and study like better to have a better structure on the answer. So I think time management, a lot of practice, and also being very like real with your answers. If you believe that an answer is somehow good, you better take it as wrong, because otherwise you can like get confidence on stuff that on D-Day you will not do well.
So be conservative with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
What you are saying.
Rather
Well,
safe than sorry.
Well, you are future or already charter holder, so of course you are conservative. One question I had in mind, and actually, do you know, guys, what is the most important question, or the question we receive the most from L3 candidates? It's not about strategy. It's not about, the constructive response part. It's about keyboard. What keyboard will I get? Will it be a AZERTY or QWERTY? What was the keyboard you got, guys? Juan.
Yeah, for me, I think I had if I remember well, I had an AZERTY keyboard, so a French keyboard.
Where did you took the exam? In Paris?
I took it I remember it was kind of far. It was in the outsides of Paris. I
Yeah,
don't
the center
remember
of
well
Paris.
the location, but I know that last year I was supposed to take it somewhere near Montmartre.
Okay.
If I remember well, it was UCAN Consultants, but I don't know. The institute changed my location like 2 months before the exam, so I was like in the outsides of Paris. But yeah, I took it was an AZERTY keyboard,
Okay.
but I mean sometimes in some forums I know that they say that all exams are done on QWERTY keyboard, so you better or my advice will be to familiarize yourself with QWERTY keyboards to like get a feeling on how like typing in a QWERTY keyboard feels like, and it will come very intuitively. And you're
But
getting this advice from someone that used QWERTY keyboards for 21 years, and now I
that's
prefer
easy for you.
AZERTY
Come on.
keyboards.
What
So
about you, Cam? What keyboard did you get?
It was a French keyboard too. It was
Okay.
AZERTY.
And do
but
you know everyone? Do you know anyone in Paris, like among your friends maybe, who had actually a QWERTY keyboard? I think it's a myth, I don't know anyone in Paris who took the
I
exam.
think too. But
It's
I know
something to make the candidate, afraid, but
I know that it's possible to call before the exam and ask what kind of keyboard they have, if it's AZERTY or QWERTY. I know it's possible. So in case of doubts, I recommend to call before.
okay. Let's talk about challenges. What was the most important challenges you faced for this specific level 3 to get it done? Juan.
yeah, so I think the biggest challenge for me personally was to have like a good work life CFA balance. So like my personal time management was a very, very great challenge. The way I think I overcame this challenge was actually by like putting on paper a time structure of what a normal day, a normal week, and a normal month should look like if I wanted to prepare for 6 or 7 months for the exam. So for example, for the day, what I did was splitting my time in like blocks of 15 minutes, because I knew that it would take me, for example, 15 minutes to like get breakfast, 15 minutes to take a shower, 15 minutes to commute from my house to my office, and so on. So I woke up every day at the same hour, study for the same time. Like I had a very minute on the minute routine, and that was for the day. And for example, for the week, I knew that I could only see my friends, for example, once in the weekend and not 3 times, because I had to like prioritize the preparation. And for example, I don't know, I put an example, but in the month I knew that only I could go and party with my friends once a month. So I think, and
Yeah.
you have to stick to a plan, like make a plan and stick to it.
Yeah, basically a miserable life. I had that back in the days. Then what about you, Cam? Was your life so, time
So
constrained?
organized? No,
Fun?
no, no. It wasn't the case. But I tried to prioritize, to focus on the preparation, because in my head it was like I'm near to the hands. I have to prioritize to give all my best to finish it, and then it's over. You get that was my
And then
strategy.
and then you can forget everything.
Yeah, and then you can forget everything.
Okay, talking about resources and material, how did you prepare for the exam? Did you do it by yourself, reading the curriculum, or what was your strategy, guys? Juan?
Yeah, so for me, I used some prep providers. I always referred also to the readings of Kaplan.
Okay.
It was very helpful. I think it's a very helpful source of information because it like condensates the things that you really need to know and that matter the most on exam day. And also what helped like for me was also like posting questions in the, I know that in the CFA learning environment, in the practice part where like there you have all the question bank and the mock exams, there are some like comment sections. What I did most of the time was whenever I needed some help in a particular question, I will post a comment and someone like the community will come and try to answer. Of course, like you don't have to take it as granted and as correct, because you have to do your own due diligence and see if it's correct or not. But I think speaking to other people in plain language can help you, or can help candidates like to construct a good understanding of complex concepts, and then construct an academic answer or an essay type response from a like human language, like day-to-day language, because sometimes the complexity of some parts of the curriculum is not even the item itself but the way it is explained. So I think exchanging with people that already knows the concepts is it's a very very good
Okay.
resource.
But you didn't take any like course, like on-site course with a professor.
No.
By
I did it
yourself. Oh,
all
okay.
by myself. Yes.
Okay.
I would really love to have like a professor. I think would have been really great, but no, I did it by myself.
And what about you, Cam? I thought you had a different strategy, right? Or
Yeah, I had a different strategy. I used the curriculum and Kaplan to prepare for the exam. Um, I took the full package of Kaplan. There were in-person class with other candidates, and there was also an access to a website with video. So what I did, I was preparing the class with the video online, doing the exercise in the curriculum, and then when I come when I came to the in-person class, I was asking questions to teachers. So how I prepared from my side.
Okay. I want to leave enough time for the audience to ask questions. Don't forget that you can, type your question in the Q&A section, and we will have like 15 minutes at the end for us to answer these questions. So talking about, preparation, how can we help you guys to nail the exam? So here I'm more talking for the next session. Obviously, for those who are taking the exam next month, it's a bit late. I hope you are well prepped, and I hope the tips and tricks part was relevant for you. But on the long run, I know that we have some L1 and L2 candidates today who will take the L3 soon, obviously, fortunately. So we can help you to prepare this level. First, one of the thing that can be a bit stressful is this online exam. Back in my days, it was on paper. And now, being familiar with this online platform can be quite helpful. And I know that Emmanuel, with Top Finance, you provide a similar experience that can be very helpful for candidates. So can you introduce to us what is the services you provide for the candidates?
Yes, definitely. So very briefly, Moonshot Top Finance is specialized in the CFA preparation for more than 10 years. So today we do that in partnership with the CFA Society. What we offer three kinds of services. The first one is a face-to-face courses. So it's a package of 60 hours preparation for around 4 months. And this is the package that Kim took.
Okay.
Yeah, if I may. So you have access to a lot of very good and very well-rated teachers that are all chartered analysts. So it's a very it's very important, and it's an important engagement to prepare the CFA. So this is possible in the evening, in the weekend, and the courses can be given in French or in English. So
But
we also
one question, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's a full package. It's quite comfortable. In terms of financing, can be a bit pricey. Do you have companies that finance that part for the student?
Of course, a lot of, to be honest,
a lot
of,
okay.
yes.
So most of your
the most of, yes.
Okay.
Because and I can give you, of course, if you need some details on the pricing separately, maybe.
That's interesting to know, because
yes, of course,
sometimes you forget to
Yeah.
ask. So if you want to get that, ask your
Yes.
company to finance it, and
Of
and if
course.
they say no. But okay,
Definitely.
so that's go ahead.
Maybe you can show the next slide, please. It could be
Yes.
more interesting than this one, yeah. So yes, we can do it so face-to-face by group of 10, 15, it depends. And there is also distance learning courses. So this is exactly the same program, but it's not in face-to-face, it's e-learning. And we have also a different program, which is an e-learning program, meaning that you didn't have a professor or a teacher, but you have access to all the Kaplan materials and access to the platform. So in all cases, you have an access to an interactive revision environment with this Kaplan platform that really puts you in exam condition, which is really important for you to test the time management. As Juan explained it, he did it a lot. So this is really important for you, and also to try to focus on how is the platform. It's really similar to the D-Day. So yes, this is very important for you. And I think
And part of the package, you have everything.
Yes. So
yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry. So here you have an example of the materials given in the e-learning package. So you have access to notes, you have access to a question bank of more than 300 questions. Yes, you have also some videos which are very helpful. And as I said, a lot of mock exam. You have a mobile app, a lot of things to help you. We have also some guide will give you some resume of each each CFA book who are quite intense. So you have some
the famous secret sauce, right?
Famous secret sauce, exactly.
Okay. I still got mine somewhere in the library.
They are very useful, if I remember well.
Emmanuel, I saw something on LinkedIn. I wanted
Yes.
to check with you if it's right or not. I saw an advertisement that says like, if you go for this and if you fail, you get your money back. Is it real, or?
It's definitely real, but there is a kind of engagement from yourself, of course. The engagement is to be, the most serious.
Committed.
Committed.
To be committed.
Committed, right. Serious, to come at each course, of course. And yes, this is an engagement that we have for this year, is to reimburse if you fail and to give you access again and again to the platform. And this is what we do today with the last session of result that we had just a few days ago. And we
Okay, so
this is very interesting for you.
I wish it was available in my time. It would be good to have a safety net to be sure, 100% sure to get the CFA. But anyway, it's done for me now. So in terms of what we do at the CFA Society France, we have this candidate membership program. So if you are a candidate to one of the 3 level, you can, for a small fee of 90 euro, get all the services we provide to the regular members who are paying much more to get the membership value, which is all the conferences we organize, the workshops, the career events, etc., etc. So it's quite a good deal, and don't forget to register if you want to, also to network with the regular CFA charter holder. Snapshot of the event. There are almost events every week. This week, last week there were 2 events, 3 actually. One on institutional investment, one on women in finance, and the other one was on data center and infrastructure investment. So quite a busy schedule and quite interesting event. So become a member. We are also a running team, and that's great because we have built this team. We run almost every week, and after we do some posts on LinkedIn, etc., and we get sponsorship by the asset managers on the market. So it's really a good way, to make yourself visible on the market. By doing something a bit different than anyone else. So again, become a member. Okay, maybe a quick last reminder on what are the important thing to remember before taking your exam. Emmanuel, you want to come on that one?
Yes, of course. I think we have talked about some of them. Definitely pay attention to important deadlines. Check the website, check your emails coming from CFA Institute. This is very important. Check carefully your calculator, of course, and look out for your ID, your passport, and so on.
Yeah, and make sure you visit the test center before the D-Day.
Yes.
I had a very bad experience myself, and so yeah, make sure you check. Where is the place, and don't try to find it at 8 a.m. On a rainy day on the D-Day. It will be a very bad experience for you. So go there before.
And as Juan said just before, sometimes it changed just 1 month before the exam, so check it very well.
It can change, indeed.
It can. In terms of timeline, this is relevant for the next exam window for the level 3, which is in August. Anything to focus on, Manuel?
No, just to say that the registration close on May, and the beginning of May, the 6th to be exact. As we said before, if you the experience that we offer is that we can work 60 hours with our courses. So this is what we explain on this timeline, is that you can prepare with us from June to August with access to MOOC at the beginning of July, and also in August you have 4 sessions of MOOC in exam condition offered with top finance. And I forgot to say something, and I see it here. We also offer something very interesting, especially for the CFA 3. which is a final review. And what we call a final review is 3 days of intense revision with the super professor, to be honest. And I know that this is very, there is a lot of, I mean,
It's reassuring. I remember I did it myself.
Yeah. You did it?
I did it. Yeah, it's quite reassuring. You know, it's
Definitely.
just before the exam, you are with the one super professor, and you know, you make sure that everything is under control before taking it. So it's quite nice. Yeah, cool. And so if you do all of this, you will receive such kind of email. For the data scientist among you, you will be disappointed because for this specific level 3, there is no detail if you get it. If you fail, you will know where you will have, you know, like the other level 1 and 2, you will get the detail per topics and your mark. But for the level 3, you don't get that if you succeed. If you fail, you will get it. But I guess you would prefer to succeed and not getting the data. Let's go to the Q&A question. We are right on time. Alexandre, do we have any questions?
Yes, we have a lot
Yeah?
of questions.
Lot of
So
questions.
the first one, does the portfolio management pathway is exactly the same as the CFA level 3 of past exam?
Alors, the short answer is no. And the first reason is every year the curriculum changes a little bit. So it's never the same, exactly the same curriculum and the same exam from one year to another. And on top of that, if you had the pathways, it has changed compared to last year's. But you know, the changes are minimal.
Okay, so if two questions are similar, can we give the same answer if it's for both the correct answer?
I don't know. I don't see a case where Juan, you want to take this one?
I'm not sure it's possible to have two similar questions. Given my experience in the CFA exam, I'm not sure they ask such question. You will, if it seem the same, maybe there is a trick
There's a
somewhere.
catch. Yes.
Yeah, and one thing maybe that you don't know, guys, is the fact that if there is a question which is an outlier, let's say, you know, on one specific question, 90% of the candidates answer wrongly, then this outlier will be taken out. So in this specific case, if you have two questions that are similar, it's probably a bug, and one of them will be taken out, I would say. Next one, Alexandre?
Yes, since the mock for private wealth pathway are paper ones, will we be tested computer-based or paper-based?
I think, you know, in terms of providing mock exam, it's well, it's a process. It takes time to design mock exams, and so, to my knowledge, everything is you know, computer based, including the private market one. But maybe for the mock exam part, they just provide a PDF. We have no information on. I don't think it's possible, and we can double check that, but I'm quite sure everything is computer based.
Okay. Does the command explain imply different type of answer versus justify?
One.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely is two different things. So that's why I really suggest you to study the common words, because there is a CFA section dedicated only to what explain means and what justify means. But yeah, it's there are two different types of questions if you're asked explain or justify.
Okay. Do you have any best resources to study or the best method to study?
Well, we have seen different examples here. You know, I think reading entirely the curriculum and working only with the curriculum is quite time consuming. And the main source of learning is practicing. So, you know, if you have 6 months, don't spend 5 months reading the curriculum.
Yeah.
Spend only 2 max. And if you, so maybe the best source of reading might not be the curriculum. It might be, you know, the Kaplan books that are quite good in summarizing the content of the curriculum. And you can use the curriculum for the questions at the end of the of each chapter, for instance, and checking in the curriculum when you are wrong. That might be a good way, you know, to practice. But the key thing, and you know, if you're preparing the level 3, is to practice questions, QBank, and mock exams. Don't spend too much time on reading, otherwise, you know, it will be hard for you.
Yes, thank you. Do you have any particular order in which topics should be studied?
Personally, for what I remember, I started with the most challenging ones, or for what I believe were the most challenging ones. So for what I can recall, I started with fixed income. That was very substantial. There was a lot of readings on fixed income. But anyway, it's like sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter or for me the order in which you read the curriculum, because most of the time, whenever you arrive to the practice part, most of what you've learned in the curriculum by heart or not by heart is very vague in your mind. So what helps structuring the ideas very clearly is practicing.
Emmanuel, you want to add something on that? No, not really, Cam?
Yeah, I know that in the level 3, ethics is very tricky. So I remember that it was the advice was to use the curriculum the most possible, to read it, to do the practice question at the end of the chapter, because it is very, very, very tricky. So if I have an advice to give about how to organize ethics must be done at the end, but it was at the end of the revision, and in the curriculum, because you will find the curriculum what is the most close to what they will ask at the exam.
Yeah, and ethics is a as in the other level, it's a make or break topic. So if you are, you know, average on the other one, and if you fail ethics, you will fail. But if you are good on ethics and average on the other one, you should get a pass. So make sure that you don't fail ethics. Alexandre, next question.
Yes. For Juan and Kem, how many mock exams did you take?
I think I took like around five or six mock exams. Yeah, maybe, yeah, because I remember the last month I dedicated only to mock exams and questions. So I was taking around one mock exam per week. But like the week before the D-Day, I remember taking 2. So yeah, it should be 5.
From
And
my
Cam?
side, I think I did more than than 5. I found, I don't know where, but I found the past mock exam, like 2017 exam. I did them, and I did the mock exam of Top Finance, and I did the mock exam of the CFA Institute. Maybe I did like 10 mock exam.
Practice makes perfect. Alexandre?
Yes, and how much did you take, like just exam, not mock exam, but exam? If you failed
Questions,
or
maybe? Or how many times?
yeah, how
Oh,
many times?
Okay.
that's a secret question.
I took it
So,
only once for me.
okay,
And two for me.
and 1 for me.
Okay. When do you suggest we take the first mock exam, and how many should we take at least? But
I think, one answered that question, but the last month, ideally, should be dedicated to mock exams. If you want to, split the 6 months preparation, I'd say, 3 months reading max, 2 months questions, 1 month mock exam.
And mock exams, yeah, definitely.
At least. Yeah. So among 6 months of preparation, 3 months of practicing questions and mock exam, that would be, ideal. Of course, you will come back to the curriculum and reread stuff, but if you don't have enough time to practice, you won't remember what's written. It's too heavy.
we have a question about the explain and justify that you already answered. But the question is more specified. It's like, on my question about explain and justify comments, you referred to the study material, but where is it in the material?
If you Google LOS Common Word CFA Institute, you will have normally this link. I think I put it in the answer. Oh, well, whatever. If you Google it, you will definitely find it. It's a PDF.
Yeah, I remember that PDF.
What?
Maybe it's
The
not part of
website.
the.
I think
Yeah.
it's not in the curriculum, or I read it on the CFAinstitute.com.
Yeah, it's a separate PDF.
Yeah, but it's like a short PDF, 4 pages or 5 pages, and it gives you all the common words.
Alexander, how many questions do we have left?
It was the last one.
Wow, we are perfectly on time. No more question?
No.
No?
Just some remarks, but no.
Okay. Well, so it's time to conclude this this webinar. We hope you liked it. If you have any additional question, feel free to reach out. You have the email address candidate@cfafriends.org. Feel free to reach out to Top Finance as well if you want to know more about their services. It was a pleasure hosting this webinar with the great speakers. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, Juan, Cam, Alexandre, and Sonia in the backstage. It was a pleasure to be there today. Have a good evening and good luck for your exam.